Every Canadian I know thinks we live in a democracy. We don't. Here's the truth. Welcome to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was researched and written by one of our Wake Up Canada News contributing reporters. Most Canadians grow up believing that our country is a democracy, that the majority rules, and that leaders are formally chosen according to clear laws. Schools teach us this story, and it seems obvious. Citizens vote, the majority decides, and the government follows written rules. But none of that is actually how it works in Canada or in the U.S. In fact, neither country is a democracy in the true sense. Both are republics, and understanding the difference is the key to understanding how real power works. In a democracy, the majority makes the rules directly. People vote on every law, and the majority's choice becomes law. In a republic, citizens elect representatives who then make decisions, create laws, and choose leaders. The people are delegating power. Canada and the U.S. are republics. Citizens elect representatives to Parliament or Congress, but those representatives, not the public directly, decides who leads the government and which laws pass. Majority vote is filtered through institutions, representatives, and long-standing traditions. Calling Canada a democracy is only partially correct. Most Canadians participate in elections, but the real power is largely hidden from public view. Here's a fact nobody knows. In Canada, well, mostly nobody knows. In Canada, there is no law that allows anyone to call themselves Prime Minister or Premier. That's right. These positions exist entirely because of constitutional convention, a set of unwritten rules and traditions. The Governor-General appoints the person most likely to have the support of the House of Commons, and that person becomes the Prime Minister. Premiers operate the same way at the provincial level. There is no legal guarantee for these positions. They exist because everyone agrees they exist. The authority behind these titles comes from tradition and trust, not written law. Unlike school, where authority is clear and backed by rules, much of what keeps government running relies on invisible practices and habits. Understanding how power works in a republic can be easier if we compare it to life at home or in school. Authority works in three ways. The first is the ability to make rules, known as legislative power. At home, parents decide what's allowed and what's not. In government, Parliament creates laws. Now, the second is the ability to enforce rules, called executive power. At home, parents enforce the rules and discipline children who break them. In government, the Prime Minister, premiers, ministers, and their departments carry out laws. Now, the third is the ability to interpret rules when disagreements occur, called judicial power. At home, a parent might settle a fight between siblings. In government, courts settle disputes and interpret the law. Now, here's where Canada is very different from the U.S. Executive and legislative powers often overlap. Ministers are both elected representatives and heads of government departments. They make the laws and then enforce them. Imagine your teacher not only writing the rules for the classroom, but also punishing students who break them. In the U.S., this would be illegal. Members of Congress cannot serve in executive roles, and the President cannot vote in Congress. In Canada, however, it is legal and standard. This concentrates power in ways most citizens don't realize. Doug Downey is a perfect example of this system in action. He's the Member of Parliament for Barrie, Springwater, and also serves as Ontario's Attorney General. That means he votes on laws in the legislature and then oversees the department that enforces those same laws. He is both the lawmaker and the enforcer at the same time. This overlap is legal, standard, and built into the system, but it is rarely ever explained to the public in such plain terms. Premiers and their cabinets operate in the same way. They create laws and enforce them simultaneously. Schools misled us by teaching that majority rules and that authority is always clear. In reality, public participation is real but filtered through representatives, traditions, and institutions. Titles like Prime Minister, Premier, or Attorney General sound permanent and official, but their power comes from convention and agreement, not law. Canada and the U.S. have elections and democratic features, but they are republics. Power is structured, layered, and often invisible. Understanding this truth changes everything Canadians think they know about authority, elections, and government. The bottom line is simple. We were taught one story about government as children, but the truth is far more complex. Real power in Canada does not belong directly to the majority. It is delegated, layered, and often hidden behind conventions, institutions most Canadians never see. Recognizing this changes how you view your politics, laws, and leadership. Canadians do not live in a democracy the way school teaches us. They live in a republic. And understanding this is the first step to seeing the system for what it truly is. Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and our website at wakeupcanadanews.com. Till next time, remember you're the voice, and it's time to make it count. I'm Brad Wilder. I'll see you soon.